Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another ProcureTech Wonder. I am Amanda Prochaska, and I'm so thrilled to be bringing you another part of our series. And if you have not already subscribed, please do so. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button, because we love bringing you the latest and greatest in all kinds of ProcureTech, even into supply chain. And which we're going to be seeing a little bit more of today. So Padu is here with me. He is the co-founder and CEO of an amazing technology called OSA. And I got introduced to OSA a couple of months ago. I was very impressed with the origin story of this. It's really a technology that was built by operators for operators, and it's all about having unified commerce. And we know some of these things are super tricky when it comes to inventory management, warehouse management, all of the in between. So I've been blessed to actually introduce OSA to one of my clients and to help with those complexities. So I am jazzed to be learning more about it today and having this conversation. So Padu, we're going to do a hot seat for 15 minutes of Q&A. I think you're ready for it based off of our previous conversation. So I'm excited about that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Happy to be here today.
All right, and then we're going to go into a demo for 15 minutes, and then we'll wrap up with a little bit of a 3 things that I loved about what I saw today and 3 things that I don't quite love yet. But Padu, before we get ready or kick off into the Q&A, do you want to do a little bit of an introduction of yourself so we get to know you personally a little bit more?
Thank you. Thank you, Amanda.
Yes.
Padu Raman, co-founder and CEO at OSA Commerce. Been in the supply chain, e-commerce, and distributed technology for almost close to 25 years now. And very happy to be here and share what we do at OSA.
Awesome. Okay, I'm setting the timer. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Here we go. 15 minutes has started. So tell me a little bit about OSA and your mission as a company.
So we are on a mission primarily to tackle the data chaos in supply chain, right? Which is basically to accelerate the commerce and connect with across the partners to communicate, collaborate, and coordinate, right? It is basically connectivity becomes a key challenge in supply chain. How do we do it? First, we need to simplify the complex requirements in the supply chain, right? Because if you think about supply chain from the source to final destination or customer orders, it goes through multiple levels of complexity. It goes, say, it's a manufacturing shipping from China, it's coming to a port, it's coming to a distribution center, it is going to a website where customers can order, or a retail store where customers can pick, right, and get it delivered, right? And then it is basically connecting the experience, the engagement, and the convenience from a customer standpoint, right? So what we as a mission, we try to do is, how do we simplify this complexity, provide visibility in throughout the supply chain, become a single source of truth, and drive the entire framework through a technology-based approach, which is through AI and blockchain technology that is powered by.
Okay, it's just fascinating. It's so complex. And it's becoming, I was actually at a conference yesterday and they were talking about flow, and it seems like that's what you're trying to create within OSA, some more flow in the supply chain. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Why are you better than your competition out there?
So we take a 2 different approach, right? One is we provide an ecosystem framework, an ecosystem multiplier, right? We offer a complete unified commerce platform where we can enable brands, retailers, or logistics providers who are supporting those retailers and brands to enable what we call pre-order capture. You as a customer, how are you able to see the product, the inventory availability in real time? Post-order capture, because you as a customer can actually go in any of those available avenues of demand, right? You can go to their brand's website, you can go to a marketplaces like Amazon, Walmart, Target, or you can go to a retail store, or you can do on an Instagram and social media as well, right? So you as a customer is flexible to order it. So what are the post-order communication and coordination with the customer from a branch, right? Based on the demand channel that you ordered. How do we fulfill and find the right place to fulfill based on your customer needs, where the customer are, finding the product nearest to you and deliver in a shortest time, and then providing that visibility, right? So that is one aspect where we provide a complete unified technology, number one. Number two, in some instances, we may have to work with other providers. In this, the branch might be able to work with more than one 3PL provider, and a 3PL pro actually might be using a different product than OSA. Flexibility to connect to that aspect as well. So our own solution plus connect to even a competitor product to actually create an one unified single source of truth. A good analogy would be is if you think about an airline industry, you have different airlines flying to different segments, individually offering solution capability. At the same time, you can actually book Air France ticket through Delta, but Delta and Air France might be competing the same segment, right? And that is
Yeah.
how our approach is to supply chain as well. Supply chain is a complex network of ecosystems. How do we connect, communicate, and collaborate across ecosystems, providing a complete flexibility of our own solution, plus also providing ability to integrate across mix and match solution to provide that complete growth and efficiency and ability from a smooth execution perspective is what we try
Okay.
to offer to our customers.
Okay. Now I hinted at it a little bit, and I know this isn't one of the questions on the list, but I mean, if you could describe briefly. So I said, built by operators for operators. Can you give us a little bit of the history of how the company was founded?
Yeah, so the primarily we actually operated as a 3PL and a 4PL business before we ventured into a complete SaaS provider, right? Or when we started the business seven years ago, our vision was always we saw a big white space in the industry, right? Where as a brand or retailer, want to have been every demand channel where the customers are, want to be in every inventory position where the nearest to customer. Today, the only other company that is able to do to at a large efficient scale is Amazon. At the same time, customers are not able to only rely on Amazon because one, it's a very
Yeah.
cost is more, supply chain cost is more. Two, there are also competition from Amazon basics as well, right? So how do they find alternate avenues of selling in different demand channels, different aspects? Not that many technologies there. There are isolated technology, they have to get those technology implemented, make the connections, and that's a heavy lift on the IT and the challenges. So we started that business primarily to build a technology vision as a framework, offer that 4PL, 3PL business to brand and retailers to onboard and sell anywhere, fulfill anywhere, and deliver every way possible, right? And then as we developed and onboarded close to 150 plus brands, different segments, retailer, digital brands, retail brands, and wholesale brands, they felt that hey, we need this technology for our own self-use as well. And we also got approached by multiple 3PLs as well. Hey, how are you able to solve it? Can we also use the technology? Then we decided, okay, there's a big white space that we are solving. Let's focus on one thing more so that we can reach a broader network. We divested our fulfillment and then took our SaaS solution as offering as of Jan 2023 and rebranded ourselves as OSA Commerce. The platform is a 7-year-old platform, which is already shipped close to 40 plus million units at a high scale, high velocity operation.
I love that. I love it particularly because it wasn't a concept. It was like you built it for a practical application and you built it well and it took off in the marketplace. That's amazing. Okay. So who is your target market? Can you give us a little bit more around like what specifically what you're trying to solve with that target market?
A generally broader target audience or customers are 3PLs, 4PLs, retailers, and brands. Within that segment, and it's a broader segment, we focus on our direct customers anywhere who are like in 10 million plus in revenue and close to, I would say, $500,000 in revenue, right? That is where the major niche is needed. Plus, once you are, we do have enterprise customers who are $12 billion in revenue and $5 billion in revenue in different segments, right? But those are all opportunistically we add them. But the core problem that we are solving, who need the solution, is the people who are between, I would say, 10 million to half a billion in revenue, right?
Okay.
And And then also enterprises who are solving for these customers, right? So they also need those solutions as well. That's the reason we're getting a lot of enterprise deals. The reason is because what we are, again, we're making the complexity simple, right? Able to connect across enterprises easily. Flexibility and adaptability to add new ecosystems, connect ecosystems of ecosystems being connected. The depth in the platform to actually provide the visibility to every level, which again drives efficiency, again drives optimization, right? And then it reduces fragmentation of data. So that's the reason you see everybody needs it. So that's the answer to say, okay, that's the segment we are focusing. But at the same time, we support other bigger enterprises as well.
Okay, awesome. All right, so not that I tell people all this all the time. I don't need a price here today, but how do you price so we can get an idea of what that looks like?
So we are solution-based pricing because the problem we're solving is a complex problem. There's not a commodity, right? Hey, this is a price, list price, go buy it, right? We work with the customer to be very flexible. As they need us, we provide solutions to that, number one, right? Our broader breakdown of the pricing is provide a monthly subscription to a basic cost, and we are flexible with them to work with them on the transactions. As they ship, we make revenue. It's more of a profit sharing with them, right? And then the third component comes as a professional services based on the support they need. We provide that. And then there's no limitation on transactions, no limitation on users, no limitation on network, no limitation on customers. Everything is unlimited. That confined to those three pricing framework.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we're going to look into a little bit of a crystal ball and talk a little bit about what we should be excited about moving forward. So can you share with us around your vision and roadmap for the future?
I mean, if I don't use the word AI, I'll be out of this place.
That's true.
Out of place in this world, right? I mean, it is true. I mean, yes, you can say AI is hype and everything, but what we are also realizing is that, okay, to optimize, again, what is supply chain all about, right? What we are trying to do is to build efficiency, reduce cost, increase revenue, right? And make the life of the operators much better, right? And that's how if you see the evolution of systems also, right? Experience, engagement, convenience has come over and it's growing rapidly, right? So definitely we already have the data. And the one aspect of differentiated from and the aligns to our roadmap is AI needs a lot of data, accurate data, plenty of vetted data. Because we operate providing an execution system capability naturally, proprietary data is getting built naturally, right? So our roadmap is to harness that, focus on an AI-driven approach, continuously expand in that, drive AI excellence in terms of providing a greater transparency, efficiency, accuracy, finding the best way to demand perspective, right? Meeting a demand forecast for my inventory management, finding the best way to deliver a product, finding a best way to package a product, right? So there are a lot of efficiencies that can be gained by interconnecting. I'll give you one use case to explain that. Very simple, right? You as a customer is going and ordering, say, an iPhone and an iPhone cover. iPhone is coming from Apple. iPhone cover is coming from a third party, some other way, right? Now, the efficiency, what happens, these are two different products. When we store the product in a store or in a warehouse where actually if somebody's going to pick those two items together, unless there's a data driven there to understand, you need to keep these two products together and picking to optimize efficiency. Both demand and the warehouse needs to be connected to have the data visibility and predict and forecast, okay, this is where the major demand is happening. So now whenever the product is coming inside a four wall, keep them together because that's the demand somebody is going to order. So you pick that, you optimize the efficiency there, right? So that is where we have interconnected systems. So when you have all the systems connected, data is connected, visibility is there, AI becomes an easy way to provide that visibility, decision making prescriptive. And that is the future roadmap that we are working to make that efficiency built.
I'm actually thinking of like all these examples where that in my previous life where that would have been really handy. That would have been awesome. The future is here, which is great. So tell us a little bit about a success story that you've had with a client and showcase your impact.
Absolutely. In fact, we had another release of an use case as well. I'll take a client, Expo Bazaar. Expo Bazaar, it's a unique customer, right? So what they do is they connect almost 17,000 plus artisans out of different places, right? In Asia, in Africa. They bring those artisans to the customer in New York or in London. How do they do it, right? Because these
Yeah.
artisans are like, they don't have even a computer at home, right? They have a phone. So they enable them to capture the picture of what they're making. It could be a cashmere shawl they make, right? Or a designer or a picture board that is behind you that somebody's painting that's
Right.
being done. They take a picture of that, they make that converted product. We enable them to take that product, connect to all the different marketplaces, Amazon, Walmart, Etsy, everywhere in New York and London, right? Second, we move the product, physical product from there to one of their warehouses in US or in London or in UK, right? In different places. We provide the inventory visibility. Now, somebody sitting in a village in India, Rajasthan, somebody makes an order, say Amanda make a purchase of a particular artisan product, they
Right.
can see in real time that a product purchase has been made. Now think about that information used to come to them 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years later, because they used to send to a consolidator, that to a retailer and departmental store. It takes a lot of time to even sell that one product, right? For
Yeah.
them, that is a big thing, right? Two, they're able to know exactly what price it was sold for. They would have probably sold in the previous before this for like a dollar. Today they know
Yeah.
exactly Amanda bought it for $25. So that means I am making a great money into that, providing that visibility.
Wow.
So that customer actually connecting 17,000 sellers to infinite number of customers, operating with 4 different fulfillment centers, selling in 8 different demand channels, and then connecting the transportation providers about the inventory movement, finding the carrier to deliver, and entire orchestration is done by that. Yes.
Wow. What a story. Okay. We have a minute and 30 seconds left, just so you know. I gave you a bonus minute or so because I asked an additional question. But can you tell us about like a common mistake leaders make either in trying to decide to purchase a solution like yourself or during implementation? Can you give us some learning so listeners can avoid the same mistake?
Yeah, so what the primary mistake is the leaders generally make is instead of doing a cascading sponsorship of a solution, they push the solution sometimes, right? So the best thing is to listen to what customer needs, what the team's feedback is going to be, their process and operations, make it a collective collaborative decision-making entity, right? Number one. Once
Yeah.
it's established, creating the trust and transparency, because that's how we believe in our solution as well, right?
Yeah.
Provide the visibility to everybody in the network, provide that to do it. Then it's also about feeling the empathy of it, right? Yeah, AI is coming in, it's recommending some certain decision ability to do it, but is that correctly applicable to that process, that business, right? Focusing on the empathy and driving an emotional intelligence with the users, right? So that is very key when you make the supply chain management, which is a very, very highly labor intensive and user intensive. And
I
these are
love
the
that.
things of mistake.
Yeah, I love that. We talk about, and I'll stop the timer. You got that done in like with 15 seconds to spare. So awesome job. We talk about a lot of that in change management work that we do at Wonder Services, and it's a big cultural shift that you're talking about. Like if you're not used to giving transparency to your supply chain across the board, that is a large change that organizations are going to need to face and think through.
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Okay. You ready for the demo part?
Yes, but let me open the script
Okay.
on one, just
I
scanning the script. Yeah.
okay. And I am going to be quiet for this. I'm actually going to take myself off a camera. The floor is yours for the
Sure.
next 15 minutes to showcase OSA.
All right. Do you want me to actually give like a quick one slide presentation about the solution and then I can bring a slide and then do the demo? Is that helpful?
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever you want to do.
Okay, I will do that. That way it gives the general overview of what we're solving and solution, and we can do that. Okay, let me share my screen.
Okay. Perfect. I can see it. So I'm going to
All right.
take myself off. I'll start the timer.
Right. So at OSA, what we try to solve is a big supply chain data chaos problem through our solutions. First is enables a brand retailer or a logistics service provider supporting those brands and retailers to enable them to connect to all the demand channels, whether it's a store, B2B, e-commerce, marketplaces, to finding the right way to orchestrate that order that a customer is placed in these demand channels, finding the right fulfillment center, executing within a fulfillment center, connecting to the carriers, connecting the returns and driving the returns, and then the financial aspect of it. Right? So ultimately, the problem and data chaos is where the solution comes into a picture as well. So what we provide is a 4 different modules connected through our collaborative visibility platform, which is driven by AI framework. One is order management, which enables pre-order capture, post-order capture, connecting to warehouse management to actually execute the warehouse operations, and then finally finding the best way to deliver the product to a last mile engagement, and then driving all this because of supply chain is connected across ecosystems. We connect through our integration management tool, which and a process manager, which enables that connection, easy way to communicate and to collaborate. So with that, first module that we are going to look at in our product is our collaborative visibility platform product, which enables customers to look at all the entities in one centralized place. We connect to all the orders and information, so the products can be uploaded by the customers, by their end customers, or their manufacturers in real time, and also can be integrated as well. All the look and feel of the products, if you see, you can filter, you can export the products in easy availability of data, easy accessibility of data. There's a deep depth in the information of all the information that is needed to run a business where I'm selling a product from a product cataloging perspective. We have to have different complexity and enabling product based on attributes, different cost structure, different attributes in terms of B2B rules, combinations, and managing, or if there is any requirement from a custom fields perspective, because each product, each customer, each channel need a lot of different complex requirements, building all the framework for that. 2, it also enables them to centralize and look at all the order information in one centralized place, looking at the status of the orders, what is happening, in how it's managing and how it's progressing, and managing the end-to-end capability in one centralized place. Building all complex rules in terms of allocation and management. If you think about how we allocate a product and how we want to do it, flexibility in defining, okay, which warehouse to allocate, what is the priority of allocation. At the same time, making those rules and ability more complex as well. Sometimes customers need, hey, simple if and else logic will work for a basic instance, but I need a complex, additional complex logic and capability. In those instances, we can actually do an what-if analysis and drive different rules that can be created by the customers with the low-code, no-code approach, where the customers can come and fine-tune and change the logic and drive that. So that is the level of flexibility, adaptability, and scalability that the system provides. The second aspect is similarly, as we build serve different customers, there will be a lot of requirements in terms of how do we build, how do we manage, how do we build contracts. So same approach where customers can build logic, build rules in how we are going to charge. It could be a simple rule that can be configured based on the business operation, or it could be a complex rule that can be driven with a more complex rule-based configuration to drive that. So example, in this case, I have a simple rule. If they want to go into a super user mode, they can actually build a different query approach and then have the complexity of adding a execution capability built in. So that is the level of flexibility the system provides. One, ability to have visibility to whether orders coming from different entities into the system, complex, managing all the requirements from a complexity perspective, and how do we approach and fulfill. Second, also ability to make the process streamlined. Example, if I'm a brand, I have a manufacturer, and I want the manufacturer to tell me what they are going to ship of the POs that I'm releasing at different points in time, and also confirm the system, and also print a label on the product. So when it reaches, say, a 3PL, they scan the product and know what the product is. they can provide visibility on the platform and access to their manufacturer. The manufacturers can upload what we call in industry terms advanced shipment notice. They can create those, upload those ASNs, create those ASNs, and then actually print the label at the facility, at the manufacturing facility. There's a SKU label, packing slip, pallet label, attach to the ASN, and then automatically that apply to the product. So when the product reaches a 3PL, it's already labeled, it's already saved, and it's already efficient to receive it. And that way, the optimization is built in saving the cost at every point in time. So once I have all the product connected to different entities, I have ASNs. I can also look at stock information, where the different stock is, which facility the stock is. So I can look at in real time how much order is, what is available in stock, what is fulfilled, and also have visibility to say what is an in transit, what is an on order, what is ability to look at different buckets of orders, right? Whether I'm in a building, whether it's on a truck coming in, or there's on a ship that is coming in. So how do I manage, how do I promise information allocation to my customers and do that? The second aspect is also building capability in showing how do I connect, how do I enable all these connectivity very simple and easily. So all the connectivity is done through our process flow. So there's a process flow manager, which enables us to connect to different entities and also drive different rule-based. Example, if I have to connect to NetSuite, there's a simple workflow-driven model where the customers, the 3PL supporting the brands or the brands wanting to create new connections to new demand channels can utilize these workflow-driven capabilities where define how I'm going to connect it, how I'm going to map it. Everything is defined in a very systematic flow perspective so that the entire process can be automated in a seamless way. This gives the ability for customers to actually create low-code, no-code approach in the connectivity aspect of it. The second aspect, or other aspect, is also this can be used as a capability to actually go and build complex business flows. Say a customer or a brand or retailer want to have their own logic. Example, a classic example is replenishment. Replenishment flow in the warehouses where you want a product to be available in an active pick area based on the demand, proactively and reactively. So in those instances, each customer may have nuances in their logic of development. So in this workflow, what we do is we connect different systems, pull the products, inventory locations, merge all those information into a one centralized repository so that we can make decision entity, and they enable them to build a complete logic around it. So that is the level of capability the product is built in to support very flexible, adaptable, and scalable execution. The other component of the product is the warehouse management. Warehouse management provides a detailed framework of inbound, outbound processes, where looking at information in real time, customers can understand when it was received, how it was received, filter different criteria, save the different criteria and profile based on the regular, say if I am a inbound supervisor and I'm working on 3 accounts, I only focus on these 3 accounts. They can select those specific accounts, say the profile. So when they come back to the same screen again and again, it is efficiently handled to look them and provide that information. And every aspect of the product provides complete details of the progress, what has been received, or from a quantity perspective, from a delivery perspective, every information the system provides in real time, all the capabilities. The second aspect is there will be in the warehouse, there are a lot of configurable by channel, especially in the e-commerce, requirements to drive packing. So what we offer in the product is an ability to connect and a more dynamic way of handling all the validated service processes, where customers can define how I'm going to pack, what is the message for packer, what are the different stickers that need to be applied, what is that additional checks they need to do. Everything is dynamically configured. So when a packer gets an order to pack, he has been instructed step-by-step processes, what needs to be completed, so they can complete those work and process. The other aspect is when we are dealing with e-commerce, there is always a bigger requirement to actually customize labels, especially when we are shipping to a retailer. There are a lot of UCC 128 requirements, standards, BOL changes, BOL requirements. So the platform is designed to provide a complete framework to design a label based on each retailer requirements, so that everything is managed by customer. Our approach has always been provide a platform-centric approach, which gives the flexibility for customers to fine-tune, change, develop, and manage end-to-end execution. Similarly, if there's a lot of requirements to change BOL, so BOL requirements for by carrier, customers can build those BOL capabilities and manage and execute it. So that's a continuous way of how, in order, whether I'm doing a pre-order capture, post-order capture, or doing a fulfillment, how that journey works out. Also, we believe in self-onboarding. So entire product details are all built in as part of a specific way of executing, how the steps were the users followed the step-by-step way to complete that execution process. Everything right from whether it is an administrative view or an operator view, all the information is available in the system to complete that execution. And with complete detailed help guide of what needs to happen. Right? So that's where the self-onboarding portion is taken care of. And as we move from, say, we are order capture, order fulfillment, then the final one, delivery. The delivery process is given such a way that when it goes to multiple different carriers, the entire carrier information is orchestrated, connected, and provided in a one centralized place to trace where is my order. So that is the level of granularity the system offers to execute it. Now, all these things tied up to a more of a centralized view where the customers can see whether it's at the CEO level or an activity level, they can look at information in one centralized place. All these dashboards are very configurable based on each requirements. Each portal can be added, deleted, changed. Where the information is going to be sourced from can also be defined and changed. The other aspect is in supply chain, it goes through multiple different steps and handles. Many of the times there's a requirement to actually capture the picture of the product and manage the product in real time. So the system offers ability to execute mobile application and actually capture pictures at different points in time, whether the product is being shipped, what the state of the product is. By ASN, the pictures can be captured and it can be real-time available for the end user to see where the product is and what needs to happen. And then all the flexibility of how do we want to pick, pack, ship in a very easy step-by-step way of the user to understand the processes, to deliver the processes and execute the processes in a very simple way. Right? So that's the main aim of the project is to that's the reason when we say it's a solution is built by the operators for the operators, the operator aspect is taken in a very deep way to understand how the operator is going to use it. In this case, I'm doing a simple receiving there. They can take a picture. They want to do an instant printing. They can do an instant printing. If they want to change a product they see it's damaged, they can quickly confirm it's a damaged and then confirm that. And then if they want to receive an ASN, they basically receive that ASN, scan the cases simple way, and then complete that process by scanning and executing that. So automatically system provides a simple way of error exceptions, logs, so that they can manage that entire execution in one centralized place, and then automatically manage that end-to-end ability to say what has been received, how they are progressing in the cases, all the information is captured, and then they can complete that particular framework for work. That is the idea behind us, providing a very easy solution where different entities of customers can use it. One, an enterprise or a brand or retailer looking at or regional user looking at across the entities, across channels, they can look at one centralized place of all the orders, how they are progressing. If I am a warehouse operator, looking inside warehouse, looking in real time, all the orders specific to that warehouse, what is happening at that warehouse and that entity, and then managing it using different status. Looking at managing 4-wall, looking at real time, all the enterprise dashboards on how the system is progressing, what has been done. That is a level of capability the system provides in real time, looking at, okay, different entities, what is where the product is progressing, where the units are received, put away, and completed. So that's the complete end-to-end framework the system provides.
You covered a lot of ground there in 15 minutes. That was very, very nicely done. It's amazing to me the capability, the breadth of capability that you just shared with us. Very impressive solution in OSA. So do you want to leave us, Padu, with any kind of parting words, last thoughts for the viewers today?
Yeah, I think the key aspect in supply chain to look at three key things, right? How do we connect, communicate, collaborate to drive a better optimization in cost, increase accuracy of your inventory and reduction in inventory, optimization in inventory, building efficiency in revenue, and operating at a scale. So
awesome.
That's the primary aspect that is we have to look at that and also be socially, I mean, from an ESG standpoint, right? That is which is very important for sustainability aspect. So that needs to be factored in.
All right. Amazing. Well, I am so thrilled that we were able to meet today where you could showcase OSA Commerce to all of us, myself included, to learn a little bit more about it. Really a pleasure meeting you today. And for those that are watching, I'm going to continue the conversation with 3 things that I loved about what I saw today and 3 things that I don't quite love yet. So Padu, have a great rest of your day. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's okay, Padu, if you want to hit leave.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, everyone, that was our introduction to OSA Commerce. Padu is a wonderful conversationalist and did a great job on the demo. So 3 things that I loved about what I saw today. And you don't see this in every solution, which it's probably worth pointing out. First of all, I love the history of this company. I already mentioned that. So that's number 1, like that it was built by operators for operators. They were literally operating 3PLs and 4PLs. And they said, we don't have a great solution for this. We need a solution for this. And then people caught on to what they were doing, and it became such a large opportunity for their business that they're no longer doing fulfillment. And now they're focusing on the technology. I love that. People talk a lot about product market fit and all of that jazz when they're looking for investors. Well, they knew it right out of the gate because they built it for themselves. So loved that. Now, the other one that I have a whole list of things here. Which ones do we want to pick out? The second one that I mentioned you don't see in very many solutions is they built it with flexibility in mind. So often when you go to a solution and it doesn't really work well in the supply chain because it's so complicated that it's like a one size fits all. Yes, there's configuration here and there. You have these 3 choices and this is all you can do. You saw in real time during the demo that you can really customize it to what you need in your supply chain and your unique demands. Yes, the transactional side of things, probably pretty normal for everyone, but the in between those different nuances that happen in supply chain, it's really impactful because you don't have to necessarily shift your process into what the technology is allowing you to do. So loved that they built it that way. And then my third item is that I think they're tremendously well positioned for the AI concept that Padu was mentioning. It's like a new frontier, but they have a ton of access to data and they can be really creative in what they're trying to accomplish through the use of AI and how it can be applied to the orchestration layer that was mentioned. Like, if you think about what you saw in that demo, it was fascinating to me. There's the transactional side of what they're talking about, but then there's an orchestration layer, a data layer, integrations that you can create. like seriously, the power behind OSA is pretty incredible. And you'll see spot solutions of like everything that they were talking about today, but to have it all in an, one solution is pretty impactful. So those are my three things that I absolutely loved about what I saw today. Obviously, the capability behind it, the breadth of what they are covering is a huge advantage too. So my three things that I don't quite love yet. I wish I knew about OSA before I did. And I know they just repositioned the company, but one thing that I don't quite love is that more people don't know about OSA. I think it could solve a lot of issues in the supply chains if maybe they ramp up their marketing, but I think it's also probably a challenge for them. They cover so much ground to understand how they position themselves in the marketplace. How do they explain what they do to capture everything that they do? Like I didn't know until today that they had an orchestration layer. So that was like, oh my goodness, that is something new that I didn't know that they did. So they just cover so much ground. I think they probably could do a lot more to get their name out there and to really make their solution shine in the marketplace. Now, that just might be me. Maybe you already knew about OSA, but I would love more people to know about them. So item number two is I wish they did more in procurement. Like saw the pick and packing, saw the inventory, the warehousing, the shipment management, even the orchestration. I was like going over here going, ooh, how cool would it be to integrate that into more of the actual procurement process and taking all of those insights into maybe a newly thought of like MRP, materials requirements planning process. I mean, it's so integrated that I'm like, how could we leverage this more into the procurement process to really make our lives better? So maybe a wish out there, Padu, if you're listening to this, maybe something to consider for your roadmap. And then the last one that I was thinking of when Padu was talking about AI, I was like, oh my goodness, how great would it be to be able to think of their platform and help us understand forecasting more effectively? And because they're aggregating all of this data, could we get a more accurate supply plan, a supply forecast, maybe a demand forecast because of how interconnected they are, because this new Gen AI technology is coming online? Who knows, but that would be super cool to solve for. So those are my three things that I don't quite love yet, but they might be on their roadmap already. We'll see. But I started wishing and wondering, and you know where that takes me. So I am Amanda Prochaska. I'm the founder and CEO of Wonder Services. I am always so thrilled to bring you the latest and greatest tech in procurement, but then also you saw a little bit more into supply chain today because this world is changing all the time, and we want to make sure that you're exposed to all kinds of great new technology that's out there. If you want to learn more about OSA, you will find a link to our website. We're happy to help you with your selection process. We'll also help you with your road mapping for your technology. So if you need some help understanding what comes first, second, and third, we are here to help you with that too. And then our love and passion every day is to help you with your implementations, particularly around change management and more of the functional side. So redeveloping processes, policies, upping your skill sets within your team. So anything related to change management and that functional implementation, we're here for you. With that said, thank you for joining us today. Please hit the like and subscribe button. We hope to see you back here soon. Thank you.